Let's go to Garrett Haake, who's outside the courtroom. He can bring us more. Garrett?
Here we go.
Well, Lester, I just ran down the courthouse steps to get out here, having been in the courtroom. The proceedings over about 27 minutes from start to finish. Frankly, a much more relaxed atmosphere in this courtroom than what I saw in Miami or in New York. Unlike in Miami, everyone was seated in this courtroom by the time Mr. Trump was let in. And he was left to wait for about 15 minutes before the judge entered the chambers and started the procedure. You could tell he was a little bit frustrated to have to sit there and wait. He chatted with his attorneys, looking around the room. He appeared to notice that Jack Smith was sitting there, keeping a very close eye on him, but went to some length to look basically everywhere else in the room rather than at Smith. It was also a much more participatory hearing than either of the other two arraignments. Mr. Trump had to answer several questions from the judge, twice taking an oath that his answers would be honest and that he would also follow the conditions of his release that were set at the end of this hearing. He himself pleaded not guilty, not through his attorney, as had been the case in Miami. And at the end of this hearing, just very noticeable dynamic. He was fairly quick to leave the room thereafter. Jack Smith, the special counsel, stayed in the courtroom for some time, kind of laughing and chatting, talking with the prosecutors in the room. Just a very interesting interpersonal dynamic between these two men at the center of all of this.
Garrett, I'm curious about the admonishment that the judge delivered regarding influencing jurors. I don't have the wording in front of me here, but that's not something we typically hear, is it?
Well, Lester, I'm not as familiar with the ins and outs of this particular court as I should be to answer whether that's a totally pro forma warning or not. But it obviously takes on, additional meaning here, given the nature of this case, the nature of the obstruction element of this, and the nature of the behavior of this defendant, who we know likes to use his social media platform in particular to talk about witnesses, to talk about people he thinks are disloyal to him. So, and frankly, as we've seen done in the New York case. So I do think that admonishment was notable, and notable that it was attached with, warnings and specific penalties for what could happen if Mr. Trump is found not to be following that particular condition along with all the others of his release.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.